right. Well, welcome everyone to our region captain call tonight on May 15th. Just as a reminder, if you're speaking, turn your camera on, and if you're not speaking, turn your camera off. Our guest tonight, I thought Rodney was not going to join us tonight, but evidently he is joining us, sort of. He's going to be on 2 calls, so we'll try not to call on him, but I'm sure he'll want to say something at some point in time. Oh, here comes. No, I thought that was George coming on. But our other guest tonight is Angie Turner. Hi, Angie.
Hey, everybody.
Angie's becoming a regular. I think we're going to have to count her as a regular instead of a guest. So, but we're glad to have you on tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Also wanted to recognize a couple other people on our call tonight, and that's our senior region captain, which is Gary Harbaugh. Gary, you there?
I am here.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm glad that Gary's on tonight. We call him our senior region captain because he's the only region captain we have right now, officially. But also joining us tonight is a young lady by the name of Mindy Like. And hello, Mindy. Are you you got camera tonight?
I do. I look terrible. I've been working in my yard, so you get what you asked for. Okay, there you go.
All right.
Hi.
I don't see you. Oh, you're down there in the corner, huh?
Yeah.
There you are.
Hi
Okay.
there.
There you go. Mindy has completed our district captain training, and we're kind of got her kind of in a position, a transition position, to maybe a region captain. So I thought I would go ahead and invite her in to sit in on what we're trying to do tonight. So
I appreciate it.
We're working on. So glad to have you tonight, Mindy. Now you can't. If we say anything bad about Rachel, you can't tell her, okay?
I'm so glad she's got a vacation and didn't quit.
Yeah. You heard my story that I was telling Angie?
Yeah, I just didn't want to intrude, so I was laughing my butt off.
Well, she got back at me, okay, because later yesterday, that evening, we had a comms team call, and she set it up with our STC, Ken, who led the call, and she set this up with him. So when I logged on, Ken said, "Hey, Dale, I just got word from National that all vacations have been extended to 2 weeks." And I said, "Oh my God, no, please don't tell Rachel about this." And now, so I heard her laughing in the background. So she got back at me.
That'll teach you. That'll teach you to mess with Rachel.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, well, quickly the agenda here, and then I'm going to switch to PowerPoint. We're going to cover the vision and mission statements again. We made some changes, and I want to explain those to you. Then we're going to talk about the tool that we're really trying to create here. Ultimately, this is the goal, the ultimate purpose of what we're trying to do here. Then we're going to talk about some different parts of that tool. Again, the recruitment part, the legislative part. We made some changes there too, and the grassroots. And then we're going to talk some more about self-governance tonight. And So got some information for you on self-governance so that we can maybe come up with some more ideas on that. But then our next call, we're going to skip a week here. So our next call will be the 29th of May. And next week we have a state call, so we'll skip next week. So our next call will be the 29th. Okay, let's get to our PowerPoint here that I want to talk about. Once again, our vision statement is that hasn't changed. To build a Hoosier grassroots community of citizens and legislators dedicated to the constitutional concept of self-governance. Now, we're going to be talking some more about that tonight. That's becoming a very key part of what we're all about here. So that's going to be something we're going to talk about tonight. Our mission statement. Now there's some changes here. Still, the first part of the mission statement has to do with recruitment, filling all the support positions, region captain positions, 70% of the district captain positions. Now this second one has to do with legislative. This is a legislative goal. We've changed this, and we've changed it to conduct one legislator meeting in each district presenting the 34 Ready program. Before we were trying to get 2 legislator meetings, but given the introduction of the 34 Ready program, it's new to everyone, so we're still rolling it out. So I decided to change the goal to 1 legislator meeting in each district, and in that meeting presenting the 34 Ready program. Again, these are goals that we want to try and accomplish by December 31st of this year. Okay? Grassroots growth to 30,000, that hasn't changed. Now this last one I've changed. It used to be, the goal used to focus just on education, but I've changed it as a result of our last meeting. So now this isn't the final wording. I'm still debating on how to word this, but right now it's expand activities of self-governance in each district. We'll talk about that more as we go along. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments so far on this? Okay. Now, just want to excuse me. Want to remind everyone. Excuse me a second here. That again, our goal here is to develop this tool or mechanism, whatever we want to call it. I'm going to call it a tool right now that region captains can use. Excuse me. That region captains can use to monitor the districts and use that information to report to leadership in the state, as well as then for district captains to use the tool in administering their districts, and the region captains administering their regions. So that tool would have a recruitment element in it, a legislative element, a grassroots element, and self-governance. Well, I'm really, pardon me, kind of struggling with the voice tonight. Okay, from a recruitment standpoint, this is something we've talked about before. This is a chart that we can use to track recruitment, and of course this would be something we could incorporate in this tool that we're trying to develop. Now, we have a new wrinkle to this. Angie, you and Mindy, I'm not sure that you were even on board when we last talked about this at the state level, but we talked about the funnel concept, and where, as this applies to convention of states, of course, people coming into convention of states through national advertising or Facebook or website, however they come in to the funnel, then then we process them through the funnel, interviewing them, training them, and then outcomes at the bottom of the funnel rather. We have district captains or people in other leadership roles. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to fill this funnel again. We still have people coming in, but we need to get more in the funnel that we can process. And that's what we've been working on since our last region captain call. We had a district captain recruitment team, that's the DCRT, and we've made some changes to how we're going to track our process in doing this. And this is something that Rachel worked on a great deal on, took a lot of time, and she had to even rant a few times to me because it was so frustrating to her. But we have a number of districts that we have not made any calls to try and talk to volunteers, and that's what we're trying to do. So Rachel has identified for us, and we've got this in a chart, a spreadsheet rather. There's over 800 calls that need to be made to volunteers in the state, and so that's what we kicked off late last week. And this will be an effort. This is a recruitment effort. This is, as you know, we are missing a lot of district captains in our state. We only have one region captain. So in order to address these districts without region captains and to make contact with these volunteers, we developed this DC recruitment team. Now, we went through this back in February, round one of this, and that created a number of DC candidates, but we need to do it again, and we need to get to the districts that we didn't call in round one. So it's filling the funnel. This is any of you that have been in the corporate world, this is a common concept, sales concept. You got to constantly keep the funnel full, so and get them through that funnel so that you've got district captains or whatever coming out at the bottom. Anybody have any questions on this or comments? Okay. That's all the recruitment part of the tool that we hopefully will be created at some point in time. Legislatively, now Paul, I want you to make some comments on this if you want to. Like I said earlier, we changed it to where we're going to conduct one legislator meeting in each district and presenting the 34 Ready program. So we any progress, Paul, on setting up your tracking report or tracking?
my biggest hurdle right now is actually Patriot games and giving the new district captains access to that because the invites aren't working. So I've talked with Jerry Rowe about it, and I'm at the point now I've got a support ticket open on it. So we're trying to crack that, and once we get that straightened out, then we can gather action reports from the district captains when they meet with legislators. The other thing I was going to mention, Dale, when we were exchanging Slack messages, I'm not opposed to the way you have the goal written, but what I had proposed is that each district captain has 2 meetings with each of their legislators, their representative and senator.
Oh, did I? Well, I'm sorry. I must have.
Well, I didn't know if you just took command and changed it to something better, or
No. I'm sorry. We'll change that. I thought I
think it's something we should talk about because the way you have it worded is one legislator meeting in each district. So if that's each DC meeting with their representative, that's 100 meetings. If it's every active district captain meeting with both their legislator and senator, you know, how many DCs do we have now? Probably. Yeah,
much less.
Double that, and that's how many meetings we're going to do. So I'm fine with either goal.
All right, so we'll change this again. I'm sorry, I probably looked at your Slack message and thought it said something else. So we'll change that again. Okay.
Okay, and I'm hoping to get this Patriot Games issue resolved pretty soon,
all right,
so that new people I invite can actually use it and record their meetings.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Paul or comments or anything? Okay. Okay, grassroots. Again, this is a summary report that I generate for our state calls. We talked about that last time. But behind that summary report is the petition growth report that one of our SIAs generates for us every month. This provides us information by district, total by region, the number of petition signers for that given month. So this can be used then as part of the tool that we're trying to create here. So that brings us to the big topic that we started talking about at our last meeting, and that's the self-governance part of this tool that we're trying to create. And just a reminder that Convention of States is part of Citizens for Self-Governance, and Citizens for Self-Governance is dedicated to the mission of recruiting, educating, training, equipping, and motivating a nationwide network of self-governing citizen activists committed to bringing government back to the people. Now, if you remember last meeting, we decided that we would set up a channel on Slack and have people submit ideas, suggestions as to what would qualify as self-governance. Okay. Now, I'm hoping at the next meeting when Rachel gets back, she can sort this all out for us a little better than what I've done. But what I did was I looked at the different suggestions that had been made, and what came out to me were some action words. And I think this is kind of tells us, in my opinion at least, it kind of tells us what what we would want people doing that we would call self-governance. So, for example, people joining, not only attending, but joining certain organizations. Volunteering, which in other words, being engaged. Educating, which could mean teaching, of course. Participating, as opposed to just doing. And conducting, which means leading. So you kind of got that most of the ideas that everybody suggested so far kind of fall into these categories of joining, volunteering, educating, participating, and conducting. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I like it, Dale. I think it looks fantastic.
All right. You know, I want you to make keep making suggestions, keep giving us ideas, and like I said, we'll get Rachel to kind of organize them and sort them better for us. But how Gary, are you on there?
I am right here.
Okay. Is this of any help, Gary, in communicating to your district captains what we mean by self-governance? Do you think this helps at all?
All right. Good evening, everyone. So I'll just start with my personal report. Over 100 emails made, and
we got somebody. What's up here? You there, Gary? I think I just lost him.
Uh-oh.
Or either he lost his... He's still on the list here, but his audio
I just have a
must
thought,
be
if I could.
What's that? Yeah.
Because I've been calling a lot of people, and I haven't talked to as many as I'd like to, but the ones I've talked to, they're just very confused about what the Convention of State actually is. There's a lot of false information out there, and I think because we're not putting the information out, the education, I wish there was a way we could get more education out to the people that have signed the petition so they understand exactly what they're doing. And I think more people would get behind the cause if they did.
Yep.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, as I said before, the mission goal that we had dealt strictly with education, but I think certainly that's definitely a part of self-governance. This is where the town hall meetings come into play, where the living room meetings, or however you want to, handing out the palm cards and talking to people at events. That's, I think, where the education comes into play. But
is there any way, like, because people are busy, is there any way that we could set up like certain emails with education for them? Because people will read the emails if they get them. You know,
set up
just
emails.
laying out basic facts. You know, basic facts about what a Convention of States is. I didn't even know that there had been any applications in the past for a Convention of States. Before I talked to you guys, that's how unaware the public is. So I think I agree more confident in doing this volunteer work because I received all the education from you guys that I did. The more I received, the more interested I was, the more safe it felt to be doing this. You know, I just wish there was some way we could get more education out in mass, because we might even have more people volunteer if we did.
Yeah.
Something that we always did was to always make sure that you include the website, conventionofstates.com, on all of your correspondence with your volunteers and supporters in your district, and really drive them to that, because there's a lot of information on our website, and that one page front and back, those articles that give more information about how the process works and what Convention of States is all about. The website has a lot of information. Emails is a good idea too. You know, if that's something you want to consider as far as sending out maybe a monthly or posting it. A better idea maybe would be to post it on your state Facebook page or state or website, and the FCC could maybe feature an article that we already have available.
Oh, that's a great idea. I just know personally that when I did go to your website before I was called to volunteer, but it's got a lot of great information, but it was very piecemeal, where I feel like when Rachel taught the new district captains, it was delivered in a way that made it very easy. One built on another, built on another. So I was just thinking, if we had some sort of education program that we could send to all our new signature patients. I keep saying patients because I work in the hospital. All of our new signature patriots, I guess. I would have read them myself. I would have read them. I went to your website and I thought I'd understand it, but then I'd read something else. It was just very piecemeal, where if we controlled the rollout of it, we could give it to them a little piece of it at a time, to where it made perfect sense. And it only took them a second to receive it at the moment. See what I mean? Is that a good idea or not? Well,
I think what we're saying here is that we've got a lot of way. First of all, I want to acknowledge that you're very correct. As I have talked to people at different events where I've gone around talking to people about Convention of States, many people have no idea what I'm talking about. Nor do they know what Article 5 of the Constitution is about. So you are correct that there is a education challenge out there, and I think what we're trying to say here is that we've got various ways of getting that information to people. But I think your role as a region captain and as a district captain would be to find the best way within your district and within your region to get that information out. I think that the education, the information is available. It's just getting it out in a format that people would look at.
Yeah, because people are just really busy.
Right.
And if you have a name attached to it, there's someone they can call and ask questions about the material.
Right.
So just a thought.
Well, that's good. That's good. But that's why we get it down to the district captain level, so that there's a local contact there.
Yeah.
And if I could just say, Melinda, you know, people, in spite of their busy schedules, they love to go to events. So if you had a presentation to give at some kind of a group that already gets together, so you don't really need to drum up the audience, that's already done for you, and you're just the speaker, that's a great opportunity to get the information out there. And so, you know, I really, especially as a former regional captain for, I don't know, 2 years or so in Texas, really encourage presentations in your district. And, you know, even, you know, we did the presentations at the library and the community centers, and you don't get that big of a turnout, but I did notice that you get a different group of people every time, and so that's always a good way to get the information out there too.
Thank you. That's a good idea too.
Yep. Okay, anybody else have any ideas or suggestions? Gary, are you on here yet?
Yeah, I got connected here. I'm sorry about that. I'm thinking that one of the things that Americans for Prosperity, and they're kind of a free market oriented group, but one of the things they do is they push people to be believers in their principles and then kind of set them free to whatever it is their hot button issue is. So they may have somebody that's really concerned about stuff going on at city council or in their township board or something like that, and encourage people to do whatever it is that kind of strikes their interest. And so in the sense that we want people to be involved in self-governance, what I think can be effective is to encourage people to do the things that they're already interested in doing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gary, I know you know, you mentioned that you wanted to do more one-on-one meetings with your district captains, face-to-face type meetings. Are these the type of things, do you think you could talk with them about encouraging their supporters to do?
Yeah, definitely those kind of things. I think as far as our district captains, I think the idea that was mentioned a minute ago about encouraging people to go to meetings that are already happening and connect with the, you know, the Kiwanis Club or whatever other club it is that has regular meetings anyway. A lot of times those groups are looking for people to speak at their meetings, and we try to go to meetings that are already happening anyway rather than trying to get people to come to our meetings, because that has been a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any suggestions or ideas they want to bring up right now? Okay. Okay. Well, our next meeting, that's basically all I have for you tonight. The next meeting will be the 29th. And like I said, Rachel should be back and be able to kind of put this maybe in a little better, or sort it a little bit better, to where we can talk about it a little further. But I think it's an important concept, and it's just how are we going to, present it and encourage and monitor it. Now, I want to tell you right now, we're not even concerned right now about measuring this. We've just decided that we're going to take this a step at a time, and let's get it nailed down and so that we can implement it, and we'll figure out what the best way is to measure it, because we gotta have some way to measure our progress in this area, as we have ability to measure the other areas. We need a way to measure this too, but I don't know what it's going to be right now, and I don't want to get hung up on that right now. So we'll address that later.
I was gonna say that, Dale, threw out a short list of some of the things we suggested here in the past on this topic. It might get some brainstorming from others to think about.
Okay. All right.
The ideas,
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get that for the next meeting. Okay, anybody else have anything?
Dale sounds tired.
Well, I am a little bit. I've been making calls all night for the most of the part. We got all of a sudden we got a rash of people on the LMT applying for volunteer, the position of volunteer. So
that's a great way to ease into being a district captain.
Yeah, it is. So I called a number of those tonight and got a hold of some people. Got a hold of some very interesting people. When you start, inquiring about, well, what do you do for a living? You start asking questions and you get all sorts of information. I found a lady that retired military, and she has a degree in journalism. So we can definitely use that.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess I'm kind of tired a little bit, I guess. Anyway, I came across this quote from Herbert Hoover. Self-government does not and should not imply the use of political agencies alone. Progress is born of cooperation in the community, not from governmental restraints. So I thought that was very appropriate to what we're trying to do here. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Has anybody got anything else before we sign off here? All right, guys. Well, Angie, Rodney, thank you for joining in tonight.
Thank you for having us. Great call.
Thank you. Thank you. And so I will see you again then. The next time will be May 28th, or excuse me, May 29th. So we'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.